I shall start by warmly welcoming everybody to this year's UK Internet Governance Forum. For those that don't know me, my name is Nick Wenburn-Smith. My day job is Nominet's General Counsel and Head of Stakeholder Relations, but really I'm here today because I provide the Secretariat services to the steering committee of volunteers for the United Kingdom's Internet Governance Forum. So, first of all, some important housekeeping tips, and listen carefully because the Wi-Fi code should be available. It's not on the screen, but there we go. Wi-Fi code's up on the screen for you, so either take a screenshot of it or tap it in. There's no fire alarm test scheduled for today, so if there is a fire alarm, please leave the building by the nearest fire exit. They're all clearly indicated. Follow the green exit signs to the assembly point, which is at the junction of Cocktail Close of Cocktail Avenue, just outside, but hopefully unnecessary. There are restrooms just outside in the foyer, and you hopefully have already found the atrium for refreshments, where that will be happening in the breaks. So, firstly, obviously, welcome everybody here in person, but also welcome to everybody who is in the Zoom webinar. And the event is being fully live streamed on the Internet Society England website, and it will be recorded. So if you don't feel comfortable with being recorded or having your photographs taken, if you can let the people know at the registration desk, and we will make sure that that is accommodated. For people participating online, you can post comments in the chat function on Zoom Room, ask questions through the Q&A function on the Zoom webinar, and we will keep an eye on that and call them out and try to give at least equal priority to the people participating online as in the room. So this is supposed to be a fully inclusive hybrid event. For people who are in the room, we're going to go old school. You can raise your hand, not in the Zoom room, but there are microphones you'll see by the desks, and you can then switch your microphone on and ask your question. So we do, as this is an IGF event, there's an IGF code of conduct. So obviously we're talking about respectful collaboration and discussion, and I'm sure that's always the case, but it's part of the rules of the IGF events. We talk about the IGF code of conduct. So that's the housekeeping done. I'm really pleased to properly welcome everybody to this year's IGF. It's been 3 years since we've had a meeting in person, so it's a pleasure to see three-dimensional meeting delegates for a change. And it's the UK IGF, but it's also a sort of a global event. We come together, this year's theme is about the resilient internet for the shared, sustainable and common future. And I think it's always important to reflect on how the internet does not have a geographic boundary. We are part of a wider community, and obviously the outputs from today's UK IGF go through to the UN IGF meeting in Addis Ababa later on at the end of November, beginning of December. This is now, I think, my 7th UK IGF meeting, and I'm very pleased that Nominet, which is a public benefit organisation, continues to provide funding and support for the IGF and pays me to attend these things and to organise the committee meetings. For those not familiar with Nominet, this is the .uk internet registry, so essentially responsible for all the domain names ending in .uk. .uk still is by far the most popular choice of domain name in the United Kingdom, and obviously that's a key priority for us, both in terms of setting industry standards, but supporting events like this in terms of our place in UK internet industry infrastructure. So coming on to that, we do provide protective domain name solutions to the UK National Cyber Security Centre and across the UK public sector, and also to the Australian Government and Cyber Security Centre. So this is part of essentially Nominet's public benefit work, and we do have a big role in doing a lot of public benefit activities. I should say that over the next 3 years, we're committed to spending about £65 million to support partners and programs that promote greater connectivity, inclusivity, and security. And we also work to create lasting improvements, targeting a range of issues out of the digital age, online safety, digital inclusion, and long-standing social challenges where technology can play a pivotal role and assist with that. We're delighted to be working with the Institute of Coding to create a new program with the use of digital skills, education and training to provide better futures for over 25,000 young adults over the next 3 years. And obviously we focus on underrepresentation in the digital sector. We have one of the Brexit outcomes was a shortfall in funding for the UK Safer Internet Centre, about £1.3 million of annual funding they previously received from the EU. And so Nominet has filled that gap. So there are various things where part of our public benefit role is to step in and to contribute to those sorts of important initiatives. In terms of child exploitation, we also continue to support the Internet Watch Foundation and obviously stopping, identifying serious child exploitation and removal of that sort of content from the internet. And just recently, I said we've launched the second Digital Youth Index, which is a benchmarking report, and it offers insight into young people's digital experiences to actually give a better standard of information to inform debate. And you can hear more about that sort of thing on the online safety later on today. So I'd like to just wrap up this introduction by giving a big thanks to the rest of the volunteers on the steering committee for the UK IGF. It comes from a range of really great organisations. We have DCMS, we have the IWF, we have Tech UK. We've got a good representation across civil society, academia, and industry. And obviously, in terms of funding, we have a funding partner, which is ICANN. So thanks to them for the continued support and engagement. But it really is the volunteer time, which I think is the key essence of what makes the UK IGF so good. And so the willing and generous donation of people's time and expertise to ensure that these days are topical and that we've got excellent speakers and a good mix of things is much appreciated. And if you see any of the UK IGF committee members here today, then make sure you say thank you and appreciate them. The full list of committee members is on the UK IGF website. So just touching on diversity, and this is one of the important things around perspective and opinions, and it's really central to how we operate and try to make sure that our discussions are relevant to the experiences of all UK digital citizens. Part of what we've done last year for the first time, this year for the second time, is we signed the Future of London Diversity Pledge to make sure that the speakers and panels you have today are representative of the broader society that we live in. So I'm quite pleased with the hot off the press statistics that we have 58% of our speakers today being female. We have good geographic representation, so more than 30% outside of London and the southeast, and just over 25% from ethnic minority backgrounds. So that has been a great success. And we have a lot of newcomers. So from our registration statistics, we see that over 71% of delegates are attending this year's IGF for the first time. And that is also a very important part of what we're trying to achieve here. So this is a multi-stakeholder model. So we meet as equals to discuss, exchange ideas and discuss best practices. This is one of the series of important initiatives led by the United Nations for public policy on the internet. So the purpose is to facilitate a common understanding to maximize opportunities while mitigating the risks and challenges of the internet. And you'll see that theme coming through all of today's meetings. It is, I suppose every year we say, it's a bit like the Olympics, this could not be a more sort of topical time to have this sort of discussion. It seems more important than ever that the the issues today's globe and the UK specifically face really require effective engagement in terms of digital questions. We've got a new government in office, and there's increasing security. There's still progressing legislation. Online safety is still up and coming, although not quite sure whether we're at a crossroads or at a pivot or a cul-de-sac. So yeah, there's a variety of themes today, and issues such as digital inequality, the encryption, the importance of transparency in AI, and not least the fragmentation potentially of the global internet. So these sorts of digital delivery and strategies are going to be at the heart of the problem areas that we're tackling today, and coming back to the theme, to try to ensure we have a resilient internet for the future, and a sustainable future at that.